ADHD can be quite lonely, as my brain works way too fast and just never has a chance to slow down. It's like driving a V8 Skyline in a school zone. It just doesn't end well. Everyone else can handle the speeds, and my brain just can't. It's used to going that super fast speed, while everyone else can slow down from time to time. Like it's just being in the school zone. It's like 35 kilometers or whatever it is. Well, my brain's hardwired for that 100-kilometer speed, and it just causes me to miss many social cues, as I never had a chance to learn them. Because growing up in primary school, I never had my dad around for too long, which never really helped with the undiagnosed autism and ADHD, as I was hyperactive and I won't lie about that. And for the first 2 years of primary school, it was like a little boy trying to sit still, be quiet, and not speak out whenever a little talk came to my head. And it just caused me to be sitting alone for most of it, because the teachers would just say, "Oh, you can't do this," so just put him to a table by himself. And so I never really had friends and close ones. I never really understood myself as well. So it just kind of left me drifting around from person to person, as there was never really a close friend in my life. And this never really helped much as well, because as I said, my dad wasn't around for like more than 5 minutes at a time. So dealing with all those feelings alone, as whenever I said anything, I was just seen as a foolish child, and that doesn't know anything. So being the annoying little undiagnosed ADHD kid, which I never really known how they didn't know, as I seen even videos of myself back then, stimming, and just never really like, how does that even happen? Like, you see all that and you just question, oh, he's totally in control. It doesn't work like that way. And in more first class, it started properly, as I noticed. One day I had like a little Kit Kat, and we had a rule like only on Fridays, whatever. But my parents put it in my lunchbox anyway, because they get to decide what they get to eat. And there's this girl next to me, and she's like, "Teacher, teacher, teacher, here's a chocolate bar." And like, the teacher just came up to me and said, "Give it to me." And then, like, that same girl once had a treat in on, like, not on a Friday, and the teacher's like, "We'll let it slide. We'll let it slide. It's okay." So like, it's not, it might not be seen as much to most people, but to me that was like more of like the start of it, because I realized like, the teachers were not really on my side, as someone can bring in something else and get away with eating it, but when it comes to me, like, it's just a book is thrown at me, which is unfortunately very common for people with autism and ADHD. They're just used to all those hidden rules that don't really matter until, he broke them. No, like, now the rules matter. And with that then, after that, like the first 2 years, the kids realised that they could just set me off for a reaction, and then blame me for everything, like drive me to that tipping point. And like, I didn't know what to do. I didn't understand my feelings, so it kind of just pushed me to start fighting everyone, because they all pushed me to the state of being unable to anger without understanding it. And like, it just led to the teachers being like, "Oh, you're bad, you're this, you're that, like, you're mean, you're bold, whatever, you're hyperactive." But like, I would always say both sides of the story, as I know I can't lie, and like, I knew growing up, like, if I just said what they done, and they're all gonna say what I've done, I knew it was useless to like only say my half of like what they did and just completely ignore it. So I was always open about my side of it, and which really led to the teachers being like, he admitted guilt, but they would never see, the other students set you off? Nah, impossible. And even if they did, it's still your fault, because deal with it. And like, it just built up more and more, because no matter what I said, I'd just be incriminating myself no matter what, and ignore everything else I did. And like, I remember even being attacked once. Like, they came up to me, like, just scratched my face down for like no reason. I don't even remember the reason. Like, I don't remember it. And like, what do? I punch him back in the face. I got attacked for like no reason. And the teacher, who would always call home for the slightest inconvenience, like I have my pencil in the wrong hand, for like care, like, she somehow, like, I'm in the first row next to a special needs assistant and all, and like, was I? Probably, at that point, but like, it was just left there all day with a whole scratch on my face, and like, the teacher would have obviously seen me coming back in from break and just like left it alone, like, that's not a big issue. So then I told my mom when I got home. She called the school, and like it just turned out the school then called my mom. Oh, but he punched him. It's actually all his fault. He started this. I was like, what? And then it just turned out, oh, Josh, it's all your fault. And I got punished with a week being taken outside. I wasn't allowed outside for a week in school. While the other two kids that started got nothing like at all. Just like whoopsie daisy. Oh, happens. And like it just that's like one of the main things that made me realize the school's not fair. Like no matter what I do, it's always gonna be my fault. And like it wasn't until like the last week of sixth class I actually got diagnosed with autism, and then the schools like were straight away like, can we have that? Can we have that? To basically justify what they've done, and just ignoring me like, oh, he's autistic. It's fine, and like it just like it doesn't seem like much, but like when all that happens, it just leads to loneliness because like you don't know how to make friends. Like yes, I do get I was hyperactive, but they never gave me the help I needed, which maybe the diagnoses weren't there, but like you could put me back in that situation without even knowing who it was, and I would tell you straight away that kid would have autism and ADHD. Straight away, it's just something I can pick up on. And like I just see, how do you see a kid jumping around, stimming, looking uncomfortable, and being like, yeah, he's normal. He's completely normal in a sense, and it just led to like no social skills, like no understanding of how social situations work, and no matter what happened, my mom would always take the school side to not encourage me to fight back more, as I would refuse to do a bit of work, because I realized in like the last year, like how am I gonna let this happen and do nothing? So I thought, I'm not gonna do homework, I'm not gonna do my work, as a form of protest, and I just kind of stopped caring the last year because I realized they hate me. What do I have to lose? And like, obviously that led to loneliness because no one couldn't understand why I was doing it, which led into secondary school. So in secondary school, I was actually in a unit for most of it, because as of what I'd done, like no work, I needed to catch up. So in the unit in first year, it was meant to be like only the first year I was fully enrolled, but because of COVID and all that type of stuff, we weren't actually in the normal school until like 16. So what that meant is like in my old school, I had a friend. He was in my old school. We're kind of alright. We're a part of a friend group because my 4th class teacher set us up with a friend group. Like he kind of seen me and wanted to help, so he actually put me in a friend group. Like he kind of just put us all in the same situations, and then bit by bit we all became friends. I'm not going to start falling apart after the year before because there was no one trying to encourage it, and the teachers were kind of creating separation in the group. Like, oh, Josh, it's his fault. He's not your friend, which led to my other friends being like, Josh is the reason this friend can't be coming with us or do things with us, which then led to more divide. Which the teacher's like, this is so logical. This makes sense, whatever. But like, so we were then in secondary school. We started hanging out more bit by bit, and his friend group was kind of there, but like, I had zero understanding of social dynamics, and I was probably at the bottom of the ladder in all fairness. And they were in some of my classes, and they all had, they were friends, but like I was just the outsider from the autism class. So I never really tried to fit in that well because I don't know how to do it. I never had a chance to learn. So I did the optional year, and all my friends skipped. So what that meant is only one of them did the optional year, and then I knew one day it was gonna happen. It was just gonna be me and him, and they all would leave. So the whole time I was preparing for that moment, and so what that meant is I was put into a class by myself because I didn't know what to do. I was like 16 when I was actually first socializing, which meant I was put into these scenarios all by myself, not understanding a bloody clue of what happened, and it just led to me being so confused on how I should make friends, how I should do it. But like it was just too late for me because they all had their friend groups because they were all COVID. Like since they all were in the same classes when COVID happened, they had some time to mix, and I just never had the chance because even in the unit, like it was all everyone stick to themselves, which meant we never really mixed that well, and we never really learned the skills that we needed. So being put in alone, I was just so confused and just trying to survive on a day-to-day basis. And it wasn't until like the last day of the exam season. I'm sorry, I'm skipping over here a bit. Like I want to talk more about it, but like this is the basis of it. it was like the last day of the exam season. On our finals, all the friends came back because of the friend that also didn't skip, and I had to go home real quick because my ride was there. And I was like, yo, I'm gonna go grab my wallet, get changed, and I'll meet up with you after. Oh yeah, that's fine, sure, whatever. But then right after that, they were texting me on the way home, like, oh, we're not doing this anymore. We're gonna go to this guy's house. I was like, oh, I don't know where that is. Like kind of question, like like a question, like, do you mind telling me? And I like just ghosted, like just left on red. I was like, it is what it is. Like, it's gonna happen. I knew it was coming. I just didn't want to accept the truth that it happened. So unfortunately, it was just a fate I already had to accept. And then I thought college would be something I look forward to, and something I can work towards, because I started playing guitar in my last year because I had nothing else to do. So like I thought, all my friends are gone. I have nothing else to do. I'll pick up guitar, which I started doing, and I started really enjoying, and I started doing it really fast. But like, what that meant is during college, I went into a music PLC. It was more the time I came closer with God. I accepted, like, you are autistic, you have all this. Some people just won't get you, and that's fine. That's just how life is. So when I went to college, I went to college, and like I felt like everyone was now wearing a mask in a way. You know, they're hiding what they actually thought or like they wanted to say, and I just felt like this is a bit weird. Like, why are we all pretending who we are to just pretend like we're meant to be musicians, we're meant to be creative? Like, how are we going to be creative in this type of scenario when we're all pretending or worried to say something? And it just led to me being able to pick up on all the slightest changes. I could tell straight away, like when someone got annoyed, I could just see like even the look in their eye just changed ever so slightly. And me wanting to be a rhythm guitarist, in the groups, like, I prefer rhythm for mostly because I just love grooves, and I feel like everyone just wants to focus on basic chord and have a fancy lead. I am like, have a juicy section of rhythm, and the lead will just sing for itself with like minimal effort. And like, I was just trying to figure out the strumming for songs. I just seen the chords on the board they wrote down, so I was trying to figure out the chords. And I just remember getting yelled at by some people in my group because I didn't know the strumming they wanted, and I can't really read their mind, which kind of led to me going on to these disaster cards. It was the only way to kill my reaction, and I didn't want to get into these arguments anymore because I just felt like they were beneath me. Like, why would I get into a fight with someone over something dumb? Which just which just made me look bad if I got into them, so I needed to stop myself regardless. Which led to which then after that, like, it led to me and my songs and hearing a vocalist just be very flat on the vocals, like just too flat. And I was like, okay, think about it, how can I fix this? And I said, okay, like a Stone by Audio Slave, from the chorus, like, oh no go, where, like really low to the like the big change there, like there's like in terms of singing, that light to heavy, you know, the to like the full power chords. And that's like, okay, a bit like that. And in the end of it, they're still flat, which just turned out to me, think of my song was a bit flat that I wrote, being turned into an attack of just being called misogynist and transphobic out of nowhere. And I was just like shocked at that, because like I didn't want to, like, I didn't do anything transphobic or like misogynist, and like in front of both teachers, and I just had to say nothing, and they all kept kind of quiet out of nowhere, like, oh, this happened. And like, it just, when people heard that, it just kind of ruined my chances there, because they all thought, oh, he is, because like I felt a bit off, and like I didn't know what to say. I just felt like, oh, if I say anything, just going to encourage them to say more. And like, it just then some people in the group heard, oh, and then they started telling their friends or whatever, and I just remember, oh god, this is not going to end well. But I didn't want that, so I decided, okay, I'm going to start a band, which I did. It didn't really end well. I got kicked out Dave Mustaine style. Happens. Like, I didn't really mind in the end. Like, we all had different outlooks. I was trying to give my 100% all. You know, I had all my ideas and all this, which never really just went well. Because I just wanted to do like the rhythm. I wanted to control my rhythm. Like, I wanted to be the backbone, and let everyone else do their things of being their leads, their riffs, whatever. I didn't mind that. That's what I wanted. And it just turned into like just being kicked out, and it just mutually we just came together and said, yeah, this isn't gonna work. I always thought about leaving, and I got kicked out, which actually kind of helped me, because I did, like, how do you leave a band you start without seeming like a dick? Fortunately, it was easy. Get kicked out. So in the end, I was kind of just taken back from college. You know, I just realized it is what it is. and I managed to pass it even with like what all that happened with like full awards with only like a month of effort at the end because I needed that push by the deadlines coming in. Because it's like no exams, it was all just assignments and writing a song or something, or writing all of that. So in the end, I got my full award, which I was happy with, and I left. And I could go back if I want, but like I've got an award now. I can go to any college I want for music because I have that degree now. So I'm happy with that, and I finished the year with that. So in the end, overall, like it's very isolating for someone like me, as I couldn't be close with people, as I mask a lot, because I know from my experiences that the real me just is too much for a lot of people. And like, yeah, I know I'm a bit different, which isn't a bad thing in general. But now that I'm like, from being that young guy, like that little boy, to now who I am now, like I'm able to like learn a lot from it. Like it taught me God in a sense. It actually brought me closer to Him as well, as I realized it all makes sense now in a way, because if it all is like life is just a lesson, there needs to be suffering to know when the good is. And like being alone, like it taught me a lot about myself as well. Like, you know, why am I not like them? Why is it this way? And that's why I started a lot with the Zaza for college and all, as I felt like I don't want to glorify it in any way possible, but it just made it bearable for me, as it just slowed my brain down. It stopped the reactions. As someone who was very quick, I found that help, like that artificial help, to kind of push me in the right direction for just being present for people. Like, you know, oh, I want to talk about this, and I could just be there, oh yeah, that's fine, without going into some deep random conversation about God or something, which I love. But like, you should be really careful for like anyone with autism, ADHD, or any in neurodivergence to self-medicate with stuff like Zaza or like alcohol and all, because that does kill you mentally. Like it just gets you addicted, and it can be very addicting. And that's why doing it in moderation is really the most important thing, and to make sure people kind of know you're doing it, so they know to help you if anything does go wrong. And it just made me too chill, and it didn't stop me, and it stopped me from getting into all these silly little arguments, and it being different. Wrap everything up, like a lot of people with autism or ADHD, or anyone of the two, can feel like they don't belong. And yeah, it is pretty isolating, due to difference, you know, and everyone not understanding who you are or what you need, and it just leads to the world being so cold to you. You feel like it's so distant, and I feel like it's a change we need, because I feel like everyone does deserve a little something in the place, in a little somewhere in place in this world, as no one deserves that. As I feel like it's just wrong for people. Like, it happened to me. I don't really care about it in that way. But as long as we can make change to people who don't want to feel like that, is what I really want. So, with all this, please do comment, like, and subscribe, as it would very much help me at the moment, as I do want to grow and hopefully make this my career. So thank you all for watching very much, and goodbye.